In a world of uncertainty,
Rivers jizzing in his pants, and then you bring up your wife in the next sentence. Like, I know where we're going. What is going on?
there is only one place you can turn for fair dinkum advice.
One word, unbelievable. 2 words, holy shit. 3 words, oh my god.
A place where the undeniably American
It sounds so weird in like an Australian accent.
meets the undeniably Aussie.
Hey, let's stop the foreskinning for some absolutely wonderful segments later.
Where the analysis is solid
I, for one, was not one of those haters, as I picked a Rams victory.
Look, I think he can get over 150 yards in this game, easily.
Kick his ass, Taylor Bass.
and everything else is out to kill you.
There's going to be shrinking nutsacks all over the place.
Welcome to the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Now Taylor's not here to defend himself, so I think he's the perfect place to start. Who wants to tear apart Taylor's team?
Yeah, I reckon.
What picks do we like? Let's start there, Adam. What pick do you? Is there a pick on there that you think, hey, actually, you got good value, or do you just want to pick one where you go, that was a fucking reach? What's this idiot doing?
I like the Kamara. Pick. I think that was quite good. He probably wouldn't have gone Diggs. I reckon he probably would have rather like Aaron Jones in there with, like, as he said, like Lenny Fournette or something was probably the two that he was looking at. But I do like Kamara there. Like I know he's going through something, but
Yeah.
how often does it happen and then nothing ever happens of it? And if nothing ever happens of it, he's got himself a top 4 player at pick 16. So I reckon out of all of them, that's probably his best. That's his best value.
Yep.
The ballsy move. It's a ballsy move, and I know this is an auto pick move, but it's a ballsy thing to decide to do, because the upside obviously is massive. But gee, so early in a league where it's so hard to recover if you lose an early pick. I mean, we've seen this before. Remember that year where Zeke was going to get suspended, and then it didn't even happen, and then it didn't happen until the next year, and it was like weeks 9 to 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just the weirdest. What do you think, Manjot? Have you got anyone who you think was a real good value for Taylor, or that you just hate?
I'm liking the Elijah Mitchell, Cordero Patterson running back core sort of thing. And of course, Elijah Moore. He's got all the Elijah M's today. I'm really liking that.
Got them all. Yeah.
Got them both.
Collected the whole set.
Got the Elijah M stack. Yeah. The Elijah stack, the M stack, yeah. He's got McLaurin as well, another M. There you go. Kirk Cousins, he kind of had to eat that one, sadly.
Yeah, I think that's put his team at quite a large disadvantage. Straight there.
But if you look later on, the 2 quarterbacks he had after Watson, who you're not going to take.
Yeah.
Tua was there. He was the second quarterback after Cousins. I would have rather taken Tua over Cousins there if I was Taylor. I don't understand why Taylor wouldn't take the risk there, because I know Cousins is a safe play, and he's got Jefferson and Thielen and Cook.
He believes in them too.
Madison.
And a new offensive head coach.
Yeah, he does. And well, it is a good pick. It is a good pick in that regard. But there's also the rushing outside of Tua. Tua's got new weapons. He's a boom and bust sort of guy. I would have rather taken a flyer on Tua rather than a safe pick on Cousins, knowing how deep this is. And then I would have taken Fields over Mostert where he would have gone, because that's around. I would have taken those 2 QBs. Just try. I know the league's pretty deep here, so that's why I'm taking Fields second. But yeah. That's just what I would have done at QB. Lazard, interesting pick there. I do like it. It's probably one of the more proven wide receivers without injury concerns. I might have liked him to take Gage, though. I probably would have taken Gage over Lazard. Maybe even Gallup, but Gallup's injured. If Gallup was healthy, 100% would take him. Sky Moore has tremendous potential. I'm really liking him. He went after Taylor's pick too, but all of those guys weren't on Taylor's team, just Lazard. But just for the viewers who are listening, just don't want to confuse anyone. But yeah, Lazard's an interesting one. He's stacked up with Tanyan as well. Now Lazard's going to be on the bench. Tanyan's going to be starting. So that shouldn't be too much of a worry in the who scores the touchdown sort of debate. But yeah, it's a very interesting draft. I'd grade this about a 7 or 8 out of 10 from Taylor.
Ooh.
He did get a bit handicapped by the sort of auto pick at the start. I think he would have gone somewhere different. Like you guys were saying, Jones and Fournette would have been his picks, and I took Fournette just to troll. So yeah, just wanted to.
I almost did too. I almost did.
You had to take
One bit of Lenny.
Saquon to prove a point.
A little bit. This is my chance to do that here too, and show that I've got some skin in the game on a guy who I've talked up a bit. I'm not as brave about the Kamara pick, and I think Diggs is a fine player. I don't know that I would be using my first or second round pick on Diggs because there's always someone around him I kind of like a little bit more.
The thing with Diggs is, if you have a look at his performances over the last couple of years, he's only in each of the last 2 seasons, I think he's only scored over 20 fantasy points in one game over those in each season. So he's consistent where he gets like maybe 15 between 15 and 20, but he doesn't go for those massive boom games, which you think that's what like he was doing in
when he was a Viking,
Minnesota.
he was getting the long bombs.
But last year he was losing a lot of touchdowns to who was Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders.
Emmanuel
and Davis.
Sanders was an absolute beast in the red zone.
And Isaiah McKenzie was getting touchdowns out of places too, and it's like
Dawson Knox as well. So I don't see Diggs. I think Diggs is just, you think he's the number one guy there, and he is, but he just doesn't have those massive games. He's just a constant. I think if it was full PPR, he might be worth first round, but in half PPR, I don't think he's worth it.
But who do I prefer, Diggs or Debo, who went half a round later? Oh, Debo. Who do I prefer, Diggs or Lamb? I prefer Lamb. Who do I prefer, Diggs or Keenan Allen? Okay, that's more of a conversation.
Yeah.
That might be where I'm starting to think about that.
I think might be if it's Diggs towards the end of the second, you might be
Who do I
think he's
Diggs
much
or
higher
Mike
to
Evans?
consider. Yeah.
I actually prefer Mike Evans. I love Mike. I'm on record. I've got him as a early season. No, I had him as a top 5 wide receiver. I was bullish. I've pulled him back a little bit, but I mean, I'm still saying he's like 7 in my rankings. So I love him. All right, we're gonna skip mine for the meantime and give Manjot the chance to talk about his. Mate, where do you feel he's strong?
Yeah, I'm really liking Jamar Chase. That was the first. I had a lot of big decisions because first time I've ever done a 16-team league. You guys threw me in the deep end. I don't really prepare using mocks, to be honest, because I just prefer the human element. I just put in the human element. I use my football knowledge, and that carries me through. So
take the Seahawks approach. Just
just wing it.
What I get.
Football knowledge.
I grew up and this guy was really good at football.
Yeah, gee, where's that Gronkowski guy?
Todd Gurley had an almost MVP season. Let's draft him.
Gurley, surely.
Yeah, 100%. That's my generation of football. But yeah, Chase and Fournette, interesting first couple of picks. It got really thin really early though. Once we started getting 3rd and 4th round, you guys would be like, "Oh, this league's so deep." I'm like, this league gets thin immediately. Yeah. And Jacobs, I had to take him quickly because I was panicking about running backs. I mean, team 7 had 3 in the first 3 rounds. You had McCaffrey and Connor there, Adam. Yeah, there was a lot of people were taking running backs, and it really concerned me. So I had to take Jacobs quickly. I'm not entirely sold on Josh Jacobs this year. I don't think he's an RB2 in most leagues, but in 16 team,
he definitely is in a 16 team.
Spot. Yeah, he finds a safe spot.
I think
is he a top 30 running back? Yeah, he's a running back.
I think he's a brilliant pick there in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
you'll be surprised how far having just 2 guys who are top 25 running backs gets you in this size league, because very few guys can do that. you've got to be in the,
Yeah.
you got to have a guy who's an RB1, but also then have your second guy be in the top half of RB2 in a league this size to say that, where in most leagues, your 25th running backs are flex. It is ugly. It is ugly. So this has been probably a bit of a baptism for you, mate.
Yeah. Amari Cooper was my wide receiver too.
Yep.
Then I took my swing at Taylor's least favorite boy, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I just think something has to change with him. He cannot just be let Russ cook for the first 5 weeks and drop off. Something's got to give. He's got to be like great this year. I'm just feeling it with him.
Well, I
Gabe
guess-
Davis, my sleeper this year. I had to draft him in the 6th round. I would not draft him in the 6th round in normal leagues, but considering he had probably like 30 to 40, yeah. I mean, Gabe Davis, I'm really liking, but I drafted him in the 8th or 9th round in most leagues. That's approximately.
You cannot do that in this league.
Yeah, I had to take him because I was fearing he was gonna. He's
wouldn't
not
have been
gonna
there.
make it to round 7
No.
because the other guys looking at Pollard went after that. So yeah, and then Gesicki. Yeah, I'm liking Gesicki. He's pretty good.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great pick.
I thought you were gonna get him, to be honest, Matty, because
I would have loved him.
he was just perfect for the team. So I had to just take him there.
And I've got him as a top 10
Ramondre
TE,
Stevenson.
and I'm going to be right about that at the end of the season. I'm so happy about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. And look how late you got him.
I prefer
I
your
did.
Tyler. Prefer your Tyler Higbee pick two rounds later.
Wow, for value, Tyler Higbee, all right. But I mean, 7th round, middle of the 7th. That's a good pick to me.
Yeah, it's like T12 in this draft, if I counted that correctly. So
Yeah.
there's 12. Here's a 12th tight end taken. So that's a very interesting spot to take the 12th tight end in the 7th round. Yeah, and then who do I have? Ramondre. Yeah, I'm seeing some upside with him. He's just a bench player at this point, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He's a bench player in Patriot performance. Yeah, I can take that. Rondale Moore, the anti-Hopkins. I like this one. He's going to really benefit from that PED suspension. And then Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I was thinking about Zach Wilson. I thought that too late because he went way later. But
He's had a
yeah, I
big
was
week.
thinking about it just for memes, and I missed on the social media content there. But Trevor is a guy I think who can be good this year. He has
Well,
some
no.
upside. But
Trevor's the guy that all the mums want to sleep with, but they end up with Zach Wilson.
Mate, bring Trevor Lawrence in here. I want to buff him. Bring him here. Love that guy.
Yeah, Trevor. Yeah,
Love
Trevor looks like one of the moms, to be honest. But that's sort of
Ooh. I don't think you'll
Yeah,
be getting a Christmas card from him now, mate. Sorry, I think you're off the list.
Yeah, not being sexist, there, by the way.
Christmas in July card. I think you're scrubbed for Christmas in July. That's not even the
Yeah.
important one, mate.
I've been cancelled.
Just join
Yeah,
this cancel list. I love that.
Yeah, Tyler Bass, my man,
Kicking
and
ass.
the 49ers defense. Yeah, and then I overdrafted them both because I just wanted to get in early. There was a big runner kicker way before you could get any one of them, Matty. So I had to go in, get Tyler Bass. And then, 49ers defense. Yeah, I'm liking that. We're very consistent defense. I think that's possibly going to be a good pick, barring all the mass injuries that probably happen every 2 years to this team. So hopefully not. And then Jamal Williams. Yeah, I can see some potential. He's not going to be too good, but he can be all right. He can be all right. So, yeah, he got a wow in the 60s.
Got a wow.
So, yeah, that's how you know sleeper did not like it.
So if
Yeah.
Swift is going in the 1st round and Jamal Williams is still there in the 13th round, I think you deserve a wow for that. I feel like if
Yeah.
I had my volume up for that, I probably would get a wow for Chuba Hubbard as well. So, which I think Adam and I'll talk off mic later about how he acquires a bit of Chuba from me.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, if you're going to take a guy that high up who's he's got a very clear guy who takes over when he's not there, you sort of got to position yourself to take him if you believe in that strategy. Not everyone does. But gee, if I'm the guy who's Dalvin Cook owner, I'd sell a kidney to make sure I got Alexander Madison. I would.
Yeah.
Absolutely would. Not
Yeah.
everyone believes in that strategy, but I'm definitely a big exponent of if you're going to sink a huge cost into a first round running back like that, just make sure you don't look like a goose later.
Yeah. Home insurance. That's what you gotta call that.
Insurance, I like that.
Maybe even life insurance, to be honest.
Well, I think we should throw in a drop and then pull apart Adam's team. What do you reckon?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, beauty.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
I got no notes, but I got the memory, so
Every time I believe them a little bit this year, they've just kicked me right in the testes.
Manjot, Myth, Legend.
all right, you guys throw me into the fire straight away, but that's why I'm here.
Taylor Talk time.
Antonio Brown's out there hanging out with Kanye West. If that's not an insane asylum handing the keys to the inmates, I don't know what is.
Maddie C.
This thesaurus is both terrible and terrible.
I've got nothing else.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Wow.
Time to tear apart my team. Well, you
Time
can't
to
really tear it.
yeah, no, let's do it.
Can't tear it apart at all. It's just too good.
Yeah, the lights are going to turn off in 14 minutes. so
14
let's get
minutes.
started.
We better
Yeah.
get Adam to tear apart his own team, mate. Where do you feel good? Go on, you spruik how good you are. I know you
So-
don't mind doing that.
Number one pick, like I think I'm tossing up between three players. I have the number one pick in the draft as well. So
Yes.
at the moment I can kind of just pick whichever one, and then on the day will be the big reveal. So at the moment, this may be my number one pick. It may not be. We don't know. But I
1 in 3
feel great
chance.
about Chris. I still feel great about Christian McCaffrey. When healthy, he scores so much more than any other player. It's ridiculous. Jonathan Taylor had a great season last year.
Yep.
If he started the season like he ended the season, he would have been an absolute beast. But he just couldn't
Yeah.
get over the goal line. I think in the first 6 games, he didn't even
Yeah.
score a touchdown.
And he had a
So-
5-touchdown game and 200 something yards.
Yeah,
against
so
the
that-
Bills.
Gets
And
the
that's
best
like
rushing
a
defense in the league.
And that's a massive outlier. So that
Yeah.
just completely leveled his whole season. So I think when you go off just like an average player, McCaffrey is leaps and bounds ahead when he's fit and healthy. So
Yeah,
he
per
seems
game.
and
He's
he
tough to beat.
seems to be coming in this season that way, but it is that injury cloud and you don't know. So, but I think the injury cloud is hovering over just about everyone's head. Like Cooper Kupp had the same thing before he had last year. He was coming in with an injury cloud for the season and then just went boom. So you really never know. But so the first pick, love it still. And then
I like your
on the
second
day-
pick.
Yeah, I love the second pick.
Yeah.
I would have
Evans.
never would have thought Evans would drop to me there.
No, I've got a boner this big for your second pick, mate. It is fantastic. Love it.
Yeah. And I do love James Conner as well.
Now, I
the other
don't.
I know you don't, but so there's two guys that I would probably take at the turn there, and it would either
Yeah.
be Connor or Josh Jacobs. I reckon.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm
It's a
getting
believer.
some love here. Because I took Jacobs afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those two guys. I don't like Dobbins. I don't like Montgomery.
No, fair enough.
Akers and Gibson.
Akers
Plant
and
your flag
Gibson-
on those guys and you believe or you don't. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell someone they're an idiot. For not
Akers and
believing it.
Gibson, not too bad.
Yeah.
Akers at the same time was like the least efficient runner when he came back in the last. And literally the reason that we had to throw so many times and basically just do a handoff to Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl because no one else could run it.
Because Akers
No
couldn't
one-
do anything.
No one else could do anything. So we're like, all right, here you go, Coop. Just go for it. Go
Yeah.
for the scoop.
Now, look, if
So-
Evans wasn't there, what
Evans
would you have
wasn't there.
been looking at? Would you take Connor in 2 and then have a whole different option? So this is just, okay, throw Evans out. Evans goes earlier. Maybe someone from earlier is available then. I don't know. How does that change your thinking?
I would probably go RB.
Yep. Fair enough.
So but when Evans is there, I think that value is too good. But if he's not there, I'd probably go RB.
So 3
good.
RBs to start off.
Yep. Go hot. Go in hot.
But
'cause
it's
they're-
like wide receivers
they
really
hold-
deep. So I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get
They
it.
hold so much more value your RBs than your wide receivers. And
Yeah.
and at that turn point, you're still getting there's still value in them. Like, and you can still play them all. So why not?
Oh, I just think they hurt you so much when they're injured. It's just good to have as many as you can to try and insulate yourself against that. So that's always sort of been my thing in the rarity world of 16 teams, trying to find.
Yeah.
Some weeks you're trotting out the guy who backs up Rex Burkhead. Like, it is ugly. So it's your season last year was one of those seasons. Were you trotting out Dontrell Hilliard or something like that?
It was just whoever.
It was bad.
It was honestly because I think it is one good thing about. So I think I won first week, but the problem is I
Against
had
me.
one with and I had one like with one of the lowest scores, and the problem is you end up like for the waiver picks, you just end up halfway up the board, and then and then everyone gets all the good waivers that you're like, oh crap. And because your team's just that trash, you can't actually improve it, but you keep winning. And then your waivers picks just get worse and worse and worse. And you're like, oh God. So sometimes it's actually good to lose at the start of the season, just so you can strengthen your team.
Like you did the year before. You started slow and then you hit the clappers, and you probably should have made the final. You probably should have made the final the year before.
I did make the final the year before. Last year was the first year I missed out.
Yeah, but no, I thought your team was probably good enough to be in the final, or the grand final. You were just unlucky in the playoffs, which has been the story. You've just been unlucky in the playoffs.
Ryan Tannehill had a 35 points plus game.
Yeah.
And I've lost by like 2 points.
Yeah. And Adam's record of losing the playoffs is like his biggest playoff loss is like 8 points in a league where 26 is like the average margin. So it's just, could this guy get more unlucky? I don't mind if he does, because it gives me good fodder to fucking poke shit at him. Now, most people would think you're a bit nuts for taking Dalton Schultz in the fourth, but you were defending it.
I like it. I think he is top 3, top 5 tight end. I don't see why everyone's so high on Kyle Pitts. I don't get it. Like, what's the QB?
I mean, the ball's got to go to someone, but what's the quality of that offense?
Yeah, but is Marcus Mariota that good of a QB?
Where's Taylor to defend him?
Yeah.
I don't even think he's doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And even with in Darren Waller, I had him last year. He was injured most of the time, and then you didn't know if he was on the field or off the field. And even he had that one game at the start of the season, and then he just did nothing. Oh no, sorry, I had George.
He had a
Kittle
19 target game in one of the
that
early.
was Kittle. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. To start the season, Waller had 19 targets in the first game or second game, and then just did nothing.
Yeah, it was that first game against the Ravens. I remember that.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then Kittle's got that. Kittle's 30 years old now.
Yeah,
and the problem is he's one of the best blockers in the league.
Yeah.
So, and over the last 3 seasons, the only reason that he's so good is because his efficiency rate's at like 8% or something. So,
yeah, it's that run heavy offense, and all of a sudden it's just room under the middle.
So if he's not as efficient as he is, and now he's had those couple of years, he's had 2-3 years now where he's like niggle injuries. He's missed 1 or 2 games throughout the season.
Been tough.
So he's not, and he's like 30. He's 30 years old now, so he's kind of like, or he's coming up to that 30 mark, and he's not the same young guy that he was, but he's still being drafted in that second round.
I can just see Manjot's disgust at you ragging on Kittle. You see his face? He's screwing his face up, being like, you, Adam.
I had Kittle. I am a massive Kittle fan. I've had him literally every year he's been in the league, but I just think that this is like the last.
He truly is usually a defender, Manjot. I'm telling you, he truly usually is.
Okay, good.
I had him his rookie season. I had him his second year in the league as well, but he's just. The last couple of years, he's just slowly dropped off from where he was. I think he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's at that high level that he was, say, 2 seasons ago.
Nope.
So, and when you're looking at other tight ends around the league, I think Schultz is just coming into that zone, and now with Cooper gone as well.
Yeah,
and
Gallup's left.
And Gallup's not starting the season as well. So you've got CD Lamb and basically Schultz as the top 2 options. So I don't see how Schultz can't be a great pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a unique setting of our league too, where that's the, you've had 48 picks to get you to that point, and on the way out, and then on the way back, now you're at 64th pick. There's already 8 tight ends. That's the 8th tight end.
Yeah.
And if you are going to have a crack at it, you might as well have a go at a guy you think's going to finish way up in the sky. Mate, I actually really like your next pick, probably the best out of everything you picked in the whole draft. I actually think it's my favorite pick out of all yours, because this is the spot to do it. 5th round.
Hopkins. Yep. I'm
DeAndre
happy to take the punt. And as I was saying, he's had his peptides. His body's fitter and healthier than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And he's ready to just munch in, just absolutely ham down those TDs come round 7.
And he was a player I flagged to avoid, didn't I? Like that, the round before I took Cooper over him. I was like, can't take Hopkins because he's suspended. So.
Too early. And I think that's the problem. Like, if you could get him now, Manjot, if he came back to you this round, it's a different proposition, right?
Yeah, because he'd be a flex at best. He'd be a flex on that team. So
now,
that's
not what Adam's done. But Adam, I think I like. You can pull me up if my thinking is not right on this. Okay, you got to bench him. Any one of these guys, lower Bateman or Gage or someone else you find when fucking Khalil Herbert's not actually getting on the field. Whatever happens, you'll find a guy, a warm body to start as your wide receiver too, and then all of a sudden Hopkins is back. Happy days. Yeah. Now your team is set up for the second half of the season. That's kind of what I like about it, is that it's about roster construction. It's not just about the pick.
Correct. Yeah. I think, and too often you try to go for those guys to make a base for your team at the start of the season, and so often your team just doesn't live up to the hype. Whereas if you can get an absolute stud like Hopkins, who is going to absolutely bring it home towards the end of the season, why the hell not?
Oh yeah, everyone loves their team on draft day because no one's lost a game yet.
Yeah, exactly.
No one knows what's going to happen.
Just wait till people start losing. Nah, it changes opinions. Mate, I love the Homer pick here. It's nice to see you sliding into the Rams jersey and sliding to a Rams QB. And you were saying about your love for Stafford there.
He's brilliant. He's only going to be better this year than he was last year. He's that connection that he's got with Cup's just too good to ignore, and like also the relationship that he has with the coach as well is just fantastic. Like they're now bouncing off each other, and they can probably talk. They can talk to each other almost. They can run plays now without probably even thinking, because Cup and like Stafford, they spend every day together just about leading up to the season. Breakfast every morning at like 5 a.m. while running over plays and going over everything. So I think he's going to be
Zach and Elijah.
I think he's going to be fantastic.
Smashed Avos bringing people together. It's terrific stuff.
Yeah.
And with
Zach and Elijah this year.
And Allen Robinson's only going to make the situation better with like Odell out, and then he'll probably come back in towards the back end of the season. And then and the thing with the Rams is they love running 3 wide receiver sets. They ran it more often than anyone else in the league, so they love to throw the ball. And
Robinson went pretty high. He went fourth round, 8th pick.
Fourth round,
right before my Michael Thomas pick. And that was my decision was, okay, if this comes back to me, it's going to be A-Rob or Michael Thomas. What do I do? So I'm kind of glad that Cup was taken away from me, so I didn't have to make the decision myself and feel like a nuts. It's sometimes nice when someone makes that decision for you. Who out of these next few players do you feel the best about? You've got a couple of nice wide receivers there, and then a nice run of running backs with massive upside.
Yeah, love Bateman. He's behind Mark Andrews. He's like the number 1 receiver now at the Ravens. So like, why wouldn't you take a crack at him? And with the amount that they threw last year, I know they threw a lot because they had no RBs left in the team, but he's an RB1 for the team. Oh, sorry, wide receiver 1 for the team, and he's going to get targets, and that's what you're after. You just want targets in the end.
We've seen a version of the Ravens offense where Lamar leads the NFL in touchdowns without having to have every running back in the universe die behind him as well. So it's not like they're a team who rely on the run so much that they can't pass, and the ball's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You might as well
True.
have a ticket in that lottery. Absolutely.
Yeah.
These running backs, what do you think about these running backs?
Madison, Herbert, Gus, all backups. Any one of those guys, like any one of those players that go down in front of them, they're just going to have volume, like all volume. They're still going to like have those like between like 5 carries a game each of them, so they're still going to be out there. But as soon
Yep.
as a player goes down, then they're straight in there, and all the guys in front of them have been injured the last 2 seasons. So I think Madison, Herbert, and Gus are all like they're the perfect handcuffs because the guys in front of them have a proven history of injury. I know Gus
Yeah.
also injured his ACL, but I think J.K. Dobbins injured his ACL and PCL at the same time. So his actual his recovery was a lot worse than Gus's. So Gus, I think, is actually in a better spot than Dobbins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor was all about the Gus last year. I wonder how he'll feel about Gus this year.
Well,
He's
you
been in
picked up Dobbins. Well, you picked up Dobbins last year, and then I picked up Gus, and then I was like, "Oh, sweet, I've won this." And then, oh crap!
And then Jerry picks up Tyson Williams and beats us both. Good on you, the Gnomes. Go, Jerry.
Well, did he actually? Because Tyson Williams only really played one good game, and then he didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then God, they went through everyone. I was half expecting Justin Forsett to turn back up in a freaking Ravens jersey. That's how far they went down. They tried everyone. Le'Veon Bell, Devonta. They tried everybody. I wouldn't have been surprised who they shot it out there. Peyton Hillis, bring him back.
Gurley.
Gurley.
Oh God.
The Rammies defense. It's nice to see the Rammies defense go to a Rammies fan, of course, and much like Manjot with the 49ers going to himself as well. So that was a nice heartwarming.
Get the Jacksonville defense, Matty.
Mate, I would, but I've seen our defense and they all play like me. So
it's not Saxonville anymore.
No, it's Sucksonville, I think, these days.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
So why not attack the host of this show?
I feel like we should organise some sort of prize for you or something. I don't know.
Last week, everyone had AIDS. This week, everyone has Yades.
Aussie.
Funnily enough, this position is called tight end, but it's leaving me with my end less than tight.
NFL.
You know what you do. You go and get T. Higgins.
I don't know why, I just had this feeling you wouldn't like Joe Mixon.
David Montgomery.
Hunter Henry.
Jarvis Landry.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Kenyon Drake.
Fantasy.
Byron Pringle was actually pretty good.
Yeah, mate. It was a Chris Kringle, that guy.
That didn't sound very exciting.
There's only one quarterback I think is hotter.
Don't take it. There's a pick I want, man. Don't take it, mate.
This is how big of a fan I am. I have a 49ers checker set.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
The only thing that was tightening up was my pants.
Who wants a quick crack at the shit players on my team? Because we're about to lose Manjot to a power outage. So anyone want to have a crack at Matty's melon?
Look, it's 2 minutes overdue, the power outage. So we gotta,
So with Michael Thompson,
Saquon, stop.
you don't like Saquon. I don't like Saquon.
I'm hating on Saquon straight up. Devontae Adams is his first pick. That was good. Saquon, no. Like, what can you say? Can you trust him? Can you trust him? Can you trust him?
I don't think he's in any worse position than McCaffrey. And everyone's drinking the McCaffrey Kool-Aid. But
McCaffrey with that bad O-line did more than Saquon with that bad O-line. Not the same O-line, of course, but they both had bad O-lines, and one has done better. So I'd take CMC in a heartbeat over Barkley by far.
And I would too, but I didn't get to choose between those two.
Yeah, you didn't.
In fact, I select at 2-7 Christian
compare.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So that's why I took Barkley there. I love Fournette, and I think I probably would have taken Fournette.
I think that would have been the pick. I think Fournette would have been.
I would have taken Javonte Williams in that. Yeah,
really?
Javonte Williams. Yeah.
If I
don't like Saquon. Saquon, I wouldn't take Saquon. If you dropped me in the third round, I'd take the Flyers, my RB2. But RB1,
third round of a 16-team league.
He's not.
What's in your team,
he's not
mate?
dropping. Yeah, he'd be going to team 7 who took 3 running backs. But let me be honest, I'm not taking Saquon in the first 2 rounds because I don't want him to be the leader of my running back attack. That's just what I'm just feeling. And if I'm wrong, I'm prepared to die on that hill. But look,
but so am I. And that's the thing, I think, is like I've just planted my flag on the guy and going, I just expect he's going to be able to outrun whatever is put in front of him this year now that he's going to be back at his full strength. And I mean, he was never really his full self all of last
was
year.
like
And the year
80,
before, he
80%?
was gone halfway through the second game. I think he scored 9 fantasy points for the whole year when he was our second overall pick in the 2020 Astros fantasy draft. So I'm just a believer that he'll be on the field and he'll be Saquon fucking Barkley. I don't think you guys can rag too much on my receivers. I've got Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas. I mean, God,
That's good.
So
what
Thomas,
is that?
well, so is Thomas going to be actually playing, or is he just deciding not? So
Clay
is he
Thompson.
training? Is he coming back?
He's going to Clay Thompson lead his
Because
team.
as you were
he's Klay
saying
Thompson.
before, you don't like taking that. You don't like taking that chance on a player that you're not too sure on in the first 4 picks, but you've done
the
it.
first 4 rounds. And the beauty of a mock is you can do that because I'm not,
Yeah.
we're going to hit refresh and this will be going into the ether.
True.
But if this is the Astros fantasy draft and I've got Michael Thomas midway through the 4th, if I'm early in the 4th, maybe that's a different conversation. But man, in the 4th round, and I've got a guy who's okay. Last year didn't happen. The year before that, he scored as many touchdowns as me as well. He's got a quarterback who's happy to throw it. He's got a team who's willing to turf it around, and I just got to believe the ball's going somewhere. And I've got more faith in a guy like him than I do Olave and Jarvis Landry and whoever else is there.
But is the worry that he's just not going to come back?
I'm not worried about that at all.
All right,
Like not
that's
even
good.
at all. Like what's he going to do? Go and sell hot dogs on a sidewalk?
I would have
in
taken
New Orleans?
Thomas
thought he
had
was-
he dropped.
I
Had
thought
he
he was.
dropped.
I thought he was
Yeah.
going down to Florida to ride jet skis.
You know, he could do that too. I don't think he's in danger of doing that nearly as much as in danger of catching probably 8 touchdowns this year from Jameis. And that's, and I mean, because he's a yards monster, he doesn't even need to score a bunch of touchdowns. He's a yards monster, and Jameis will happily hurl it. So, yeah, I guess in a real world situation, yeah, if I'm, say, the 3rd or the 4th pick in that round, maybe I'm not doing that. Maybe I'm
What
standing
about-
with a bit more safety of someone like Allen Robinson or Amari Cooper.
Well, would you? I think I'd rather Thomas over Metcalf. So I think, and I guess you're taking Jackson the one before, but in between, I guess your Thomas and your Jackson pick, would there be anyone else that you'd rather than Jackson?
Oh, yeah. And I think at that point, it was really him and Kyler were the only guys who I think are worthwhile in that range. And I
Yep.
wasn't sure that Kyler would come back. So I just thought I'd take the one I prefer.
Yeah, but you were
And
pretty
then I
set
was
on
wrong.
going QB there.
Not really. It was just because both of them were still there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow. In the back half of the 3rd round in a league this big where a running quarterback can make such a difference, you look at the guys who are a bit further down and they're either only running because they're just not the dual threat the way that, Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields is just not the same caliber.
Yeah,
Yeah. What about at where Thomas took? Would you have taken CH or AJ Dillon? Because they were there too. And
Yeah,
also
I
Damien Harris.
don't think I
Miles
could
Sanders.
take a straight back up that early. I know I then took Hunt the next round. Maybe if AJ Dillon's there that round, I do that.
Yeah, you could have sleeped up Brandon Cooks there too. So
And I love
There's
some Brandon
that.
Cooks.
you do. Yeah, you could have done it. I'm just
is
saying.
it David Miller throwing in the ball again?
David Mills. Yeah.
Davis
No,
Mills.
I prefer Thomas to Brandon Cooks in a vacuum. I did rank them the other way around just to make a point though in an earlier show, but I have since adjusted that.
Since the just. Yeah.
But Taylor also ranked Brandon Cooks 28. So, he was just making
I
a
ranked
point.
in 20 seconds. So about
Well,
right.
and I think at the time we recorded, you had him 18. That's probably about right. I like Thomas
Yeah.
more than 18.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah. And I
yeah,
mean,
so Kareem Hunt, James Cook here, and then Christian Watson. You're relying on the backup and a couple.
Well, he's
of
got 3,
rookies.
and then he's
Got a
got
bunch of
3
And Damian
rookies.
Pierce. Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
Got a bunch
he's got
of rookies.
3 rookies in a row, and then a backup before that in Kareem Hunt. Yeah, so that's a very interesting rookie-heavy draft there, Matty. You're going for upside, I'm guessing.
I think what I would like to do is just follow how this team of rookies goes and just see what they do. Because
Yeah.
this is a strategy I think in Astro League I'd be a little nervous to actually do. because it's a high prestige league and the stakes are really fucking high.
Yeah,
but,
Taylor's going to be tallying these up, isn't he? So
I would
be
love to see how
very-
these three go in this situation too, because I think if one or two of them actually became something, that wouldn't be a surprise, and to get them this far down is kind of cool. So why not have a punt in a mock? I mean, I'm not that brazen in real life, but you know who is? Mark fucking Downey in our league. He would do something like that.
Loves a rookie.
Loves a rookie. So I don't know. It's kind of channeling my inner Marky D, but not picking any Dolphins because I'm not a complete dickhead. Sorry, Mark. I love you.
Well, you got Parker, but he's in a dolphin. He's in a dolphin outfit.
He's in a
But
dolphin.
yeah,
I like that tweet. So my cousin James Cook sent me this tweet like 2 years ago to say, gee, if only this wasn't about football. And it said, now that he's passed his physical, Jay Cutler is officially a Dolphin. Yeah, because this would be so much cooler if it wasn't about football. So that was in my mind about how funny it would be, But yeah, Devontae Parker.
Yeah, I'm going for a
I don't
blackout,
know what he's
everyone.
gonna
By the way,
oh, that's all right.
Oh, Manjot's gonna go. Okay, we're gonna lose him in a sec. So
well, we've lost me, but I've connected through the Wi. Oh, there we go. Torchlight.
he's back.
Yeah,
He's
we-
done it.
Wait,
We're not going to make
we
you
go
suffer that for long, mate. That's no dignified way to live, mate. We've got so much more respect for you than that.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was don't know. It's
all
not.
good,
It's
Devil.
not. Yeah.
You got the good background with the faithful to the bay.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got that. He's still got that.
Just gotta take the. Yeah, just gotta just do it. Get through the show and then somehow get through my life. But yeah, very very
That's
good behind
creepy.
the scenes access.
looks
for everyone.
creepy
Sorry
as.
for interrupting.
Look at him.
It looks scary as hell.
This is like a campfire.
Yeah, this is campfire sort of thing.
Telling
yeah.
ghost stories about Team 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team 15, the team that just
Gather
picked
round.
six wide
Let me
receivers
tell
in the first six.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you the
this is
story of the
perfect.
time a team took 6 wide receivers in a row.
Well, they could.
If I turn off the virtual background, you guys could actually see me. That's actually true.
Well, I think the
So,
only thing that Team 15 could do is package two of their top 3 wide receivers together to try and get something out of an RB in maybe the first round. But
Yeah.
you'd be
Go and talk to Team 6, is it 7? 7, who've got the 3 big time running backs, 1, 2, 3. Go and talk to them,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Or Team 4, who've got 3 out of 4. And just see what you can do. That's what I
think that
would
would
be doing.
be
Yeah.
that'd be about their only hope.
Yes.
What we should do is make Taylor take this lineup in real life and tell us what he would do to try and turn around. Because no one loves a trade like Taylor, right? So,
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. What will you do to fix Team 15,
Yeah.
Taylor? Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to come up with a segment like Taylor Tinkers or something. I don't know. We'll workshop it, but something like that and get him to fix Team 15. I think we do stick this one up on the TikTok and the Instagram and get the like slidey bar thing and see how high people rate this team.
Out of all their picks, the one that I like
Yeah.
is there's 2 that I don't mind. The CD Lamb, I don't mind that one.
Yeah.
And the Gerald Everett.
Really? Gerald Everett?
Hmm.
He's out of the Clippers now. Oh, sorry, not the Clippers.
Pay it.
Chargers.
Pay the man.
He's out of the
Other
Chargers
LA
now.
team. Yeah.
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 So, and there's like tight ends get targeted at for the Chargers massively, and there's a huge hole there now. So, and he's filling it. So I don't see why Gerald Everett wouldn't. And he's a brilliant athlete. He's
Yeah.
fantastic on the deep ball. So I don't see why he wouldn't absolutely ball out in a Chargers jersey.
When
He's
I
an
woke up
older-
this morning, I did not think I was going to hear someone say Gerald Everett is a terrific athlete.
Mate, he
Are-
used
are
to be
you-
a Ram.
Have you had a head knock? Can I
He
show you a
watched
drug
he
test?
was he only judges him based on that 54-51 game. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. He absolutely balled out.
And he scored the game winner. Yeah.
I've still
Yeah.
got that on the Fox box. I recorded that. I've still got it. Still watch
Rewatch
it occasionally.
rewatch that game and
All
have
right.
a look at how good of an athlete Gerald Everett is.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to watch it on Everett View, where every line of scrimmage, I'm just going to focus in on Everett and just watch him only. All right.
Well,
I'll
I
come
was
back
listening-
with my report.
Well, having listened to the podcast back, I think Gerald Everett has the exact same amount of chance as Jameis Winston to win MVP.
Oh, you listened
I'm writing that
to
down.
Sizzle, was it? Wasn't it
Sizzle.
Sizzle last?
Yeah.
No, it's Quinny. It's Quinny that said it last week. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Saints guy, Gerald Everett. No, okay, he would be the first, I think, Gerald ever to win MVP as well, which would be great for the Geralds out there. They've been desperate for something to go their way since 1841. How did you enjoy doing a 16-team mock Manjot? You haven't done one of these before. How did you go? Did you feel okay?
It was very interesting.
survived?
You know, had a power outage during my analysis. Very sad. But, well, I wasn't talking them, but, you know, still looking at this analysis, I think I did pretty well. I'll give myself a solid 6 or 7 out of 10. I wouldn't think I think that's probably me judging by 10 team though. So
It's hard to judge.
that's not, yeah, don't do that. Yeah. I'd say I'm gonna be up there. I have a better team than Matty for sure.
I
My
agree.
team has I think my team is more upside, better running backs. That's
Definitely.
one factor I'll take.
I will
a
say
little
the
less.
one thing you probably didn't have to do, and you could have picked up another player, which could have been a streamer. I don't think you needed to pick up Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's the one.
I do agree.
That's one thing you don't need, especially because there's only 4 bench players in the 16-team league.
Yeah,
So with the 4 bench players, it's much more important to try and stash guys that have more of a chance to replace someone if they're injured, or
yeah,
that have the potential to have that upside, opposed to trying to stack a second QB. If you're happy
Yeah.
with your first QB and he goes down, then that's, you know, that
Tough.
you're
but yeah.
basically it's hard to come back from that. So I think
But you
stacking
survive.
QBs.
Mate, we've seen
survive.
guys start Nick
Yeah.
Foles. We've seen guys start all sorts of garbage in championship weeks because guys fall down, and that's the guy with the best matchup. And sometimes that's all you got to do is just
Yeah.
stream your way. And you can, even in a 16-team league, you can stream your way with dicey quarterbacks. It's possible.
But I think
Yeah.
you're almost wasting a pick there on Trevor Lawrence. There's
Yeah.
players where you could have had instead. And so
Yeah.
I reckon that would be the one improvement to make your team a lot better.
yeah. I'd take that one. Yeah, 100%. I'd probably go more with Tim Patrick. There's other guys. I like McKissick as well from Washington.
Yeah.
I would take him one of those two. I think in hindsight, Gus Edwards, who was there as well. We talked to him off a bit.
Evan McPherson.
Yeah, there was a few. Yeah, McPherson.
He smacks that
I
ass,
could have
son.
started. Yeah, I could have started a kicker chain 3 picks earlier, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I just went for Lawrence because there's a bit of me that's against Ross because there's the whole he falls out in the last half of the season. But honestly,
I don't
I
think Lawrence.
yeah.
I don't think Lawrence is an improvement on.
It's a
Russell's
bit of a
ability.
waste now that I look at it. Yeah, it's difficult, but first time doing a 16 team. At least
Yep.
I have Matty to guide me in the draft. Which okay, Adam, don't give that look now. Don't-
I
that's all
trust
good.
you. I trust you, brother. We got a mind meld.
I wouldn't take Lawrence. That was more.
No,
I don't
that's-
know. Probably
You can do this shit in a
draft,
mock
yeah.
though, and that's the best bit
Yeah.
of it. It's
Yeah.
like we hit refresh, these teams disappear underneath, and we never see them again, except that we're on a
Yeah.
podcast, so we'll see them all the time. But
Well,
you know,
Taylor will
you're not
tell
living
you.
with it. You're not living with
Yeah.
it, and that's
Yeah.
it's the best place to make a decision. We go, I do that differently, or sometimes to just make a
Yeah.
bold decision and go, and you know what? As the season goes on, I'm just going to see how that would have panned out. It's a cool space to do it.
Yeah.
If people
think-
aren't mocking,
100%.
I don't know what they're doing. It's such a great place to have fun and do some learning.
Or if you are going to do, like, say, 2 QBs in this type of situation, if you do 2 higher QBs, so if you were to get like, say, like a Joe Burrow, and then if you were to get like Jalen Hurts or something like that, like 2 guys,
Yeah.
one after another, then you can use one of those QBs to trade for at
Yeah.
another team, and that's
Yeah.
where you can also
That's
say,
leverage.
yeah, you can use that as leverage to try and get like a player that you might want if you can see a team struggling for a QB. So that's the other way to go about it. But
Yeah, because what does the guy who drafted Derek Carr do when he goes down, right? You know, it's like, well, he was already kind of hanging in there with someone who's probably a bit below mid. And now what does he do? You can offer him a real lifeline. And while you're at it, maybe take someone like Kenneth Walker, who picks up more work than everyone was thinking off him. You know, something like that, and just offer him some bench fodder to do that, to upgrade your running back to, you know, maybe a more handy flex than you've got, and give him the bump at quarterback. But our league, I think, has gotten very, very good at the educated trade, where you look at each other's roster and go, well, what would that guy need to improve his team? And what do I have that services that? And what has he got that I need? And there've been so much more cooperative trades in the last 3 seasons than ever, except for the ones that Taylor does, which are complete rape and pillage.
They are completely one-sided, and I think that he must have a dossier on every single person, and he blackmails them with it.
I like how he's taking that mantle off me. Everyone never used to trust Matty, and now it's like, that fucking Taylor guy.
Never trust the podcast people.
No, never do. I mean, the problem is that everyone hears what we like and what we don't like as well. So we're kind of laying all our cards out. But Ads, you haven't done a Big 16 team mock with us before. Did you enjoy dusting off the brain for it?
Yeah, dusting off and getting back into the fantasy season is always good. So yeah, it got me into gear, and I think most years I don't really like. I've actually never pick one in any league before, but I always say to myself, I'd hate to have pick one, but this I think it's quite good to have that the turn for the second and the third round. I think there's a lot of value, so I'm quite happy with my position, and I think it's going to be a good season.
And really the point there is, like, it's so great being on a turn in a league this big, because you get back-to-back clocks, and there's it's nice to then all of a sudden you've got 3 minutes to really mull it over.
Yeah, you actually do have that time to sit down and be like, oh, this is good.
It's luxurious.
Go get myself another beer.
Were you finding that though, having the turn? You're just like, oh man, I've got time on time.
I found at the time, it's just because you can kind of skip ahead to where it says you're going to pick next, and you can kind of have a look and go, all right, there's a bunch of players that are still going to be there, and they're the guys that I actually like. Instead of, I find when you're in the middle and you've only got that one player, it's pretty easy, and players can get snagged off you quite easy. But at the turn, you find, because you have the 2 picks, at least one of those guys is always going to be there. So
totally,
you can walk away with a team that you're a lot happier with, and I find you can plan for it a bit more than when you're not at the ends and when you're in the middle of the draft. So no, it's a refreshing thing, because I think every year that I've been in this draft, I haven't had anything under a pick 10. So,
and it's some great luxury in that, because you kind of get a little bit of a forecast of what's going to be around. You can go, right, well, if these guys are around, anyone who's I like higher than that who's still there is just a slam dunk. Harder in the middle. And Manjot, I've never drafted this close to the middle in our league. You came in at a tough spot, having never done one this size, and getting to that spot where there's just so many more things in motion. So I'm really proud of you, mate, as my president of football operations. I think you did.
Because I think you guys in the middle, you do look at your players and you go, oh, they might get back around to me. Whereas at least at the end, you go, okay, they're not getting back around to me. I take these guys, or I go them, because you know they're not coming back. So it's good.
Well, you get 2 out of 4. You get 2 1 and 2s, basically, sort of choices, or 1 in 100s. But I mean, if you got like 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers you like at the end, you're gonna choose 1 and 1 pretty much most of the time. So because
it's nervy taking 2 of the same position, knowing that then there's 30 picks to go before you're back. Oh gosh, it's a long time to go running back and wonder what's coming back.
But this might be the year that you have to take 2 running backs at the start, or even 3. You might have to stack up and then rely on those late wide receivers to carry you, because there's a lot of wide receiver depth. But yeah, for me, I had to take Chase, because Chase is he's just different. So I had to take him, and he was it was that close. I was one pick off getting Jefferson, and that would have been a huge steal.
Yeah.
That would have been one of the best. It would
Yeah,
be Jefferson. You
9.
would have got Chase there, maybe Matty.
Maybe, yeah. And I probably would have taken
Yeah.
it. Probably. I know.
Yeah.
Both TikTok and Instagram told me this week Chase over Devontae Adams. So
Yeah.
so I'm
Oh, really?
adjusting my ranking.
not-
Yeah.
Did you
I would've-
really need them?
I would have thought that Matty would have Adams over Chase easy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I
do,
think-
but now I've learned for the voice of public opinion has swayed me.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just asked everyone would have said Chase over
You've all been
Adams.
saying it. I mean, I was mean enough to put Devontae Adams up at 3 and relegate Chase to 4 because I'm
terrible.
a meanie beanie. And
Oh
you
my
guys could just flip flop on that. So,
I
all that
see what-
Devontae Adams disrespect, seething hate, putting him at 4.
I see where you're
Yeah.
coming from, but like it's kind of like how people say they go, oh, the Chase, they've got that like college experience together, but so does Adams and Carr. So
Oh,
but
Fresno State boys.
Yeah.
They were just absolutely wrecking college, just like Chase.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Men
Chase
amongst
and Burrow.
boys back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Wow. So I can't believe we got to the end of it. Hey, Manjot, this is something we do every week is we get you to do the socials because there's about 50 of them
Yeah.
and we just like to see if you remember them all. But before we get
Yeah,
you to,
oh.
I just want to thank Adam one more time for coming through. And mate, I always
Thanks,
look forward to
Adam.
having you on. I look forward
Oh,
to
good.
all the garbage we feed each other through the league chat through the year. If I was to invite you back on through the season, would you come?
Yeah, of course. No, it's all good.
Yeah,
It's
come
good to
back, man. It was great. It was great. Look, we gotta do one with Taylor as well. Just get
Yeah, it
Taylor.
was a shame.
That's a
Yeah,
good part of why.
It was a shame.
It felt way too chill tonight. We
Well,
just.
It was good. It was good. I didn't get abused.
It was good.
Not much.
It was a lot. It was a lot friendlier.
I did give you
Yeah.
some shit.
Come back next week
Yeah.
when Taylor has working tonsils or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he is-
maybe
it's
all we
every-
do is we just set you two up, and Manjot and I just sit back, and we are just on
When-
mute.
when Justin Herbert's removed himself from Taylor's throat, and he can talk again.
all the Herbert sherbet that's in there, yeah, 100%. All right, Manjot, do you want to take us out with the socials?
Yeah, to keep the lights on. That's how I'm going to do it. Just
Yeah.
to keep my lights on, to keep
Just
Maddie's
trolling him with
lights
lights.
on, and even
Yeah.
Taylor's lights on. To keep Taylor's tonsils on as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
medical.
Yeah, to pay for his medical bills. You guys got to follow us up on all the socials.
Yeah.
Instagram at Aussie NFL Fantasy. Look, we're doing great things. 200, 400 views on TikTok at Aussie NFL Fantasy. I'm going to be putting up some more TikToks when I get the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
yeah,
a busy
when I'm
man.
more
He's
free.
a busy man.
Yeah, after this week, this weekend we'll be getting some. But yeah, that
Yes.
number one QB rankings. If you guys haven't seen it, that video will be coming out
Yeah.
end of this week. I've been pushing it back way too many months, but it'll be out. And then I'll go straight into like running backs, wide receivers,
Yeah.
tight ends somehow before we start doing another rankings. Yeah, that'll be coming up on TikTok, Instagram. We got Facebook, Astro League 2022. So we still haven't updated that to Aussie NFL Fantasy, but we want to keep that
coming.
retro sort of theme.
It's coming. There will be an
We
Aussie
gotta
NFL
keep the-
page. There will be.
Yeah, you gotta keep that
working on
retro theme somehow, though. Yeah,
It's just
And
nice
then-
if people want to have a touch point to our stupid league that they can. That's it.
yeah, yeah. That's all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll keep it there, and then we'll go with Facebook. Wait, we did Facebook. Yeah,
Yeah. Facebook.
email. Yeah,
Email.
email. We have Astro League. It's not Astro League. Aussie NFL Fantasy at gmail.com. Got me back to the
I
Astro
do that
League
all the
mode today.
time.
Yeah, got me to it's all because Adam's here and we just start talking about the
Flustered.
league. So
All these
Yeah.
Rams jerseys, it's throwing you off.
yeah, it's throwing me off. And then the lack of lights, when lights are off, it's
Yeah,
sleep
he's-
time.
He's up against it.
Yeah. Today is not a good day to have blackout. Yeah. Evo Energy or whoever it is.
Damn that
running the
load
power.
shedding.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what happens, man. Yeah. 10 to 3 a.m. They could have just waited maybe another hour, giving us a bit of extra time on the show. Yeah, anyway. Email AussieNFLFantasy@gmail.com. Obviously, Anchor, you want to get that voice message in. Anchor.fm/AussieNFLFantasy. And then
nailing
anything else I missed? There's Pigeon. There's Pigeon, Hogwarts Owl.
Yes.
Messenger Pigeon. That's the one.
Messenger Pigeon, yes.
Yeah.
YouTube,
of course. Aussie
YouTube,
NFL Fantasy.
yeah.
If you guys want to see our faces even more than you see it on TikTok, 100%.
And I have a beautiful face.
You're going to see Adam's face a bit on the
does.
social media this week. I've only got one picture of Adam, and it is in an Andy Dalton jersey, and it is coming out.
Yeah, you got one picture of me. Yeah.
No, I've got two
He's
of
got
you,
one.
but you just put on the same face.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Any others I forgot? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. There's Twitter. You just started up Twitter.
Yeah, so I've revamped that Twitter a bit, and we'll go through the Twitter. It is AU NFL Fantasy. You'll find us there. I couldn't get Aussie NFL Fantasy on there, so it's AU NFL Fantasy.
Yeah,
you've done great, man. There's
that's
like 8 touch points, and you've killed it.
Yeah, I just didn't know the new Twitter. I got followed in my personal one that I barely use except for like making meme formats. Yeah.
This is it, man. This is the social media revolution you've put me through.
Yeah.
Adam's not the world's biggest social media guy. Do we find you anywhere, Ads, or do you we go come visit you?
Yeah, I don't have that much. I
See him down the pub. He'll be down the pub.
Pretty much. Yeah.
The bloke in the girly jersey. Go over and say hi.
Yeah. Patient Press NFL, of course. Never forget Patient Press NFL. That's my one. Yeah, you can always find Aussie NFL fantasy content because Matty sends all the posts on that too. So,
But get on the Pastry Press
every
NFL,
night I know there's something there on Patient Press.
Yeah, but your content's great too, and you've been working hard
there's
on
some
a
more
bunch of content.
collabs coming. More season previews. Yep.
Oh, and I love those. This is the time of year where I met you last year.
Yeah, it was July 8th. It was.
Yeah.
To be exact, and that's July 12th. So happy 1 year anniversary.
Began.
Meeting the super fan too.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. It's great. Wide receiver buddies. The buddy system. Yep.
That's it, man.
It's great. Yeah.
All the best stuff happens in the 80s, 80 and 81. Yeah, 100%.
80 and 81.
Together forever. And then, of course, Pastry Press Sports and all your podcasts. Talk about the podcast.
Yeah. There's also the Aussie End Zone coming back sometime. Still got the coming soon sign up, but hopefully around the season. That's the word I'm hearing for all your Aussie NFL. The Aussie End Zone fans. I know a few people been clamoring at my DMs, been saying, "Oh man, Joe, is the Aussie End Zone coming back?" Yeah, it's coming back. Yeah, those people, you're gonna be happy. Yeah, it's coming back probably around the start of the season. Broncos favorite podcast into the NRL. Brisbane Broncos best team in the NRL by far. Don't care about any. I know that the ladder says there's 4 teams above us. Don't care because we literally beat the Dragons with some reserve grades.
That is a sign of a good team is if you beat the Dragons.
I might not be on this week's episode though because of work commitments, but hopefully there's an episode this week. We came back last week after some very big a very big layoff. Yeah, but we're back.
Good to have you back.
Hopefully, might not be on this week's episode though, but please catch my pals. In the meantime, I'll be listening in too, as well as I usually do to this show. So that's me done. I'm guessing. It
is hard to believe that we're not just raking in the millions and this is how we just spend our careers, but we are actually all volunteers, just in case people didn't know. We actually try to find spare time to do this in because we all have lives outside of it. So just in case you're wondering, even Adam is the same. I understand too.
Unless you guys are paying me. Unless you guys are paying your guests.
Mate, I am paying you out. I'll give you that. But nice solidarity with us tonight, Ad. So
it was
I
nice.
kind of like that. Usually I'm right at your throat, but tonight I thought I'd bring the love.
Tonight was better for Adam, I reckon, but Taylor not here. His biggest bully was not here.
It felt a lot warmer.
We'll get you two in the same room pretty soon. Well, fellas, thank you so much for joining me. We'll let everyone go. Hooroo.
Hooroo.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Taylor Talk time.
Because all I do is win, 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 no matter what. That's a foreskin right there. We'll foreskin that for later. That's on the first 5 pages.
Wowza. Mate,
Sorry, the first 4 pages. Foreskin. We didn't want to talk about it. You guys brought it up. It wasn't me, of course.
mate, we'll chat later.
Yeah. I didn't realise you can trade. I didn't realise it was a trade button. I don't do many trades, mate. So I always stay on the fence. I don't call him an absolute spud, and I never call him an absolute choker in the second half of years. So, well, we start with the Portaloo out the back when we just shit ourselves straight into the Portaloo, and then it goes into a hole, not even to an actual toilet.
Aussie NFL Fantasy.
Look, eat it, Mark Downey. I'm all Dolphins this year, mate, and you're going to have to make a lot of room because I'm not the smallest bloke in the world on that bandwagon.